many consider these days to be the end days, apocalyptic days, the days of salvation, the days of great transformation. It's been prophesied. The Kabbalistic Jews are saying this is the day of reckoning, the day of global awakening, and we can truly see that this is what is happening right now around the globe, especially since the days of Corona, and now with the wars in Ukraine and Israel. I am from Israel. My name is Sagi Cohen, to whoever doesn't know me. And I speak a lot about motivation, inspiration, transformation. And today I want to speak about false prophecies. Because these are considered to be the end of days, people start labeling others as, and me included, as being false prophecies. Let's just speak about those things for a second and try to understand what it is. So, a prophet is first and foremost a person who can predict the future. Now, we all know that none can truly predict the future, but a certain person that has a certain level of awareness and that achieved clarity can see a line that is being extended into the future. Now that line starts from the inside, from how that person sees himself in correlation to the outside world. Now the outside world is always a reflection to the inside world. So I'm speaking about people of clarity. When we have clarity, then we can say, this is where I'm going, right? For example, you guys know it from traffic. When you are at a certain place and you know where you're at, maybe you have a navigation system to help you, and you have signs all over that tells you where is the next direction, or if you're going that direction, where you're going to get to, if you're going that direction, where you're going to get to, then you can prophesize, right? You have certain clarity and you can say, you can predict what's going to be. Maybe you're not going to predict the exact timelines or how it's gonna, what are the specifics of those things, but a person can foresee things. When we are close to our intuition and we have clarity, then we can do that. Now, what does it mean, clarity? Let's look at a person. A person is a mixture of a physical body, an emotional body, a mental body, and a spirit, right? The things that we achieve to, that we inspire to. Now, our mind is usually full of conceptions that we have been given by childhood and that we've been taught. And we know today that those conceptions are limiting us. And we need to know how to dissolve them when the time is coming and to expand them. This is why we call consciousness as expanding. We become more, we allow more. But let's talk about the emotional body. The emotional body is the body of water. Now we are physically 70 to 75% water, just like the earth. Now what is happening with water? When water are bubbling, meaning there's a commotion of emotion, then there is no clarity, right? Try to look at the sea when there are waves in it. Try to look at a river when it's going rapidly and when there's a commotion in it. We can only see clearly through water when they are placid, when they are still. Meaning, when we have quieted down our own emotions. And this is, for me, a sign about a person who speaks truth or false. Because what is a false prophet or a false prophecy is somebody who's speaking lies, false, right? Somebody who speaks untruth. Now, what does it mean, untruth? It means that this person is not connected with the truth which is in his heart, which means that person sees the word unclear, right? And again, that person is being influenced by his or her own emotions. That person have not done the inner work to quiet those emotions. A person who speaks from a certain type of agenda that wants to manipulate, that person too will be talking false, or therefore a false prophet. Now we can see those all around these days, right? This is how I've learned to recognize when people are speaking truth or untruth. When they speak from a place of manipulation, they want to trigger a person. They use certain words to trigger the audience. They want to cause something in the audience to get them out of where they are at. Because they have a certain agenda behind it. Not because they want to try to help that person, but because they have a certain agenda, and through that agenda they want to influence the other person. That might be considered as false. A person that speaks out of a lot of emotions, right? That too shows us that this person has a lack of clarity, which brings us to the equilibrium, or to a balanced person. A balanced person knows to balance the mind and the gut, not necessarily the heart. People say that it's the mind and the heart. The heart is anyway balanced. The heart is anyway the center of things. But the heart is the first organ that is being developed in a human being. The next organ is the nervous system. And the nervous system goes both directions. It goes upwards, so to say, develops the brain, and it goes downwards, so to say, and develops the gut. And the heart receives constant information from both sides, from the gut, what we also call intuition, and the brain, what is logic, right? So a balanced person would be a person that knows how to take the information that comes from the brain and the information that comes from the heart and receive it as such and translate it in the most way that is balanced, transparent, and non-egoistic, meaning there is no personal agenda behind it. And I found that you can also tell a person how he speaks and the words that he is using, and especially when you're listening to the frequency of the voice of that person, to be able to tell where that person comes from. If that person speaks out of heated emotions, right? When this person is very emotional, then clearly he speaks from his gut, and then this is unbalanced. When a person is being too cold, he's showing less contact with his own emotions, he's not empathic to the situation, then he speaks mostly out of his logic, and that too is biased, meaning it's unbalanced. So when we come to the question of false prophecy, what will help us recognize the person sitting in front of us, talking in front of us, is attuning first of all to our own heart, putting away our own agendas and the ways that we perceive life, meaning the interpretation that we want to put in this person's words, putting that aside, reaching into our own heart, and then listening very carefully to the frequency of the words that are coming from that person. right? These are indeed very interesting days, very challenging to many of us here in Israel and globally. And these days are almost putting inside our face this very clear mirror of what we call right and wrong, of looking at ourselves and defining how we want to proceed in the next future, in the upcoming future, because it's not anymore about us only, and it's not anymore only about our families. It's about global humanity. It's about everybody. It's about moving on together. We cannot separate this world anymore. Things have become too close or too accessible, right, through the internet and through transportation. We have to consider all the moving parts and everybody when we are thinking about moving forward. And we should put in front of ourselves or in our heart what is best for the next generation, right? Because we are going to leave this beautiful world for them and to them. So it's not about only shaping the world and the upcoming events for the next generation. It's also about showing them how we do it so they can learn from us. This is my blessing to you guys, that we will find the balance inside and we can reach our own heart. And once we've done that, it opens up and it includes everybody else. Blessings, shalom, all the best.